In 3/4 of a mile, fair left, or I-294 south.
Hello? 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 Y'all
Yep,
got me on
DJ
mute.
Claude, I can hear you.
You can hear me now?
Yep, I can hear you now.
Okay. Okay. Cool. All right.
All right, good. All right, we're doing introduction. So again, behind me is the flag. Right behind me is the Zambia flag in Zambia, Africa. Today,
Okay.
Zambia is on duty. To the right here is the Djibouti flag. That's where we're on tour at all month long in the continent of Africa. So anyone
Okay.
with connections in Djibouti or Zambia, we want to know because we want to link and make sure that the connections are there. So
Okay.
every
Fair left,
month,
or
every month we
I-294.
do this. I'm gonna mute you for a minute, DJ Clark.
Okay. Go ahead.
So every fourth Saturday of each month is one of the most important dates for what we're doing to help Black people around the world. It's called the Summit. And the summit is our accountability. This is the day when we look at everything we did all month long and we make the report to the people. So this is all the people who support us, all the people, whether you're a loaner, donor. This is our report to let you know what we've been doing since the last summit, which was 30 days ago, always on the fourth Saturday of the month. So this is our accountability assessment here, and I'm going to give you guys. It's 2 hours long. It's a long one. What we've been doing to make sure that people can get the part that they care about. When I send this message out, I'm going to give you guys the exact time when we're talking about education, when we're talking about safety, when we're talking about health. So that way, if you don't want to watch the whole thing, you can just clip to the time zone that is the focus for you. Now, the other thing I want to do in this introduction is let you know why it's called F through K National Summit. And the purpose of those alphabets is so that we don't burn our people out. So this month, for the whole month, anyone whose last name begins with the alphabets F, G, H, I, J, or K, this is it. This month was our only time to bother you, to engage you, to try to extract from you to support this global effort that we're doing to help our people all around the world. After this, so next Saturday will be it. We won't bug you again until February of next year. So it's every 6 months, February and August for last names F through K. And so that's why you see we got Brother Claude on here. Last name begins with H. So that fits the perfect model. So all our guests who's going to come on, our leaders, they're going to have those last names F through K. A month ago was last names A through E. So if you go to YouTube, you can watch last month's summit, and you will see we had those leaders whose last name begins with those alphabets. They're every January, and 6 months later, July. So that's why we did it in July with them. And this is going to really help our people, our community out, because there's so much happening that people are ultra busy. We're going around doing a lot of stuff. So with this last name solution, it's going to allow us to, like a broken clock, only bug people twice a year. All right. So now the roll call, and then I'm going to bring DJ Claude in here. The roll call is the first step here. Let me put this on the screen so you guys can follow me with the roll call. And the roll call is just what it says. It allows me to walk through who we're expecting to be on here with us today and what we're going to be talking about. So we're going to first start with East Garfield Park in Chicago, 60612 zip code. That leader, last name begins with D, so not expected to be on. 60623 North Lawndale, last name begins with an S, not expected to be on. 60624 Garfield Park, that leader last name is B, last month was on. 60639, last name T, not expected to be on. That's the North Austin community. 60644 South Austin community, that leader last name is A, not expected to be on. 60651 zip code, that leader last name is J. So Ms. Jones, we do expect to be on. Then we have, that's all west side. Then on the south side, 60609 New City Community. That leader last name is A, not expected to be on. 60620, last name begins with a D, not expected to be on. That's the Auburn Gresham neighborhood. 60621 zip code is the Inglewood neighborhood. That leader last name is M, will be on next month. 60629 is Marquette Park zip code. That leader is P, won't be on until October. 60636 leader is Denise King, Governor Denise King. She will be on today. 60652 zip code leader is that's the Ashburn neighborhood. That leader is getting on as extra duty. Doesn't have to be on. Brittany Corners getting on in the 4 o'clock time frame. So that covers the south side part of Chicago, west of the Dan Ryan Expressway. Now, east of the Dan Ryan Expressway is 60615. That's that leader last name is M, will be on next month. 60617, that leader last name is B, not expected to be on this month. And that's the Calumet Heights neighborhood. 60615 is Washington Park neighborhood. 60619 zip code is Chatham. That leader last name is D, not expected to be on. 60628 leader that's Roseland. That leader is Governor Charles Robinson. He don't have to be on. He's doing extra duty too. He'll be on at 4 o'clock today. Then we move over 60637. That's the Woodlawn neighborhood. That leader last name is R. Doesn't have to be on until October, but we have Claude Hayes on from that zip code. So that's how this works, you guys. Anyone from that zip code can be on if their last name matches the code for this month. So we're going to hear from DJ Claude here. 60643 is the Washington Heights community. That leader last name is D, not expected to be on. 60649 is the South Shore neighborhood. Last name begins with an L, not expected to be on. However, Janice Jeffries, we hope she can jump on from South Shore. Then the final one is 60653 Bronzeville community. And that person's last name is E. So we're not expecting them to get on. So that's the roll call. And I wanted to bring up our leader right now that we have on, DJ Claude. DJ Claude, I can't unmute you. So can you unmute yourself?
Okay, I did.
Wonderful, wonderful. But first, let me brag about you for a minute to our audience. This is being recorded, so this will be a video that anyone can log on and look at. DJ
Okay.
Claude, you guys, is
Yes.
someone that has been ultra responsive to a lot of our people who own homes, who've been having HVAC issues. Not only is he a DJ, but he does heating and ventilation. And to have someone that you can call that's not a 9-to-5 company that you can call who comes out outside of that, and then him being a male going into female homes, I really salute you for doing that, man, and giving our women a sense of comfort knowing that you're coming highly recommended from us and going in there, just giving them some guidance on what they could do. Thank you for that. Thank you for being a $100 loaner. You've been doing that for over 4 years with us, and we thank you for that trust. And of course, you're a $12 donor. So without further ado, man, how you feeling, my brother?
I'm feeling good. And, and I say, I appreciate you giving me the opportunity, but I look at it like this. When it comes to women's, we all got mothers and sisters, and we have to look out for our women because if we don't, who will? So we got to respect them and do the best we can to look out for them. And that's how I always been, because I grew up with my mom. My dad was in another state. So actually, it was just me and my sister came up together. But I got other brothers and sisters, but the only person I kind of grew up with was with my sister, and then with my friends outside. So I understand that, but a lot of people don't look at it like that, that we do have our ladies out here. We got to look out for them. Because if we don't, who will be? I'm just going to be real about that part.
And what you're seeing right now with the migrant situation in Woodlawn, well, what would you give us in terms of update? Is it hopeful, promising, not looking promising? What's your assessment?
I think it's promising to them, but to us, it's not. I'm just going to be real about it. I'm not sure.
That's how we want it. That's what we want.
I'm not sugarcoating it. I mean, they have walked through the alleys, if I do, I give them something. I don't have no problem with it. But for our own people, the city is not looking out for us. I'm just going to be real. That's the
Yep.
bottom line.
I
Yeah.
think everybody really can see that.
Yeah. And like you asked me one time, how many is it us working in our neighborhood? I see not even a handful, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
All that
Yep.
rehab doing in over there by my house,
In 1 mile.
it's not
to
that
stay
many.
on
It's not the only us people was over there, be honest with you, was working on that community center. That was it. That was it. Nothing else. It was just a handful.
Nothing for the Obama Museum.
I saw a handful over there. That was it. Maybe a
Okay.
handful.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So we know, man. At the end of the day, it's gonna require us doing for self, and as we show that we are due for self, then that'll make them respect us, and then we can start accessing other stuff. Because right now we're not respected. Not sure we deserve to be respected given how we're performing.
Right.
So that's the benefit of what we're doing now. This is going to be a lot of respect.
And that's why I reached out to you about who in our organization can do certain work. Because I said I'm gonna try to work with our organization people first before I go outside.
Yep, makes sense.
And I did that with another group called BMI. BMI is a real estate. They got an organization called BMI, and they have a lot of people in their work network. And I have dealt with them just as well.
Now, BMI, where are they headquartered at?
I don't know. I
you told me about them, right?
I don't know. I might mention to you. They like on. I know the real estate offices are like on 44th and Cottage Grove. And
okay, that's
I think they're working through a real estate agency. But just being that network will cost me like over $1,000 a year.
Wow. Yeah,
and I was like,
that's another. And see, that's another thing. We got to make sure that we don't outprice anything that we're doing when we're so far behind. So that's another conversation there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So so as you driving, so don't look, but I'm gonna describe this so people can see this. This is the 4th Saturday of the month. That's what today is, and this is all the neighborhoods in Chicago, in Black Chicago. I'm gonna zoom in so people can see today's. So today it says South Shore in the red circle there, and it has that code BS4. That's Blue Saturday. It's the 4th Saturday of the month. And it says marketers. So anyone that's in sales and marketing, insurance sales, anything like that, today is their once a month duty day. And every day, this red circle, goes around the broader circle, meaning every day in Black Chicago, a different neighborhood is holding down the fort, watching, making sure that anything that we need, we can respond to. Every day, this red circle moves around. So all the people watching, I just want you to know this is the 3rd largest city in America structure so that we can fix the issues that we've been faced with in Black Chicago. Any thoughts on that there, DJ Clark?
I can see it, but I don't have no thoughts on it, but I can understand what you're saying.
And DJ Claude, you guys, he's in Woodlawn. So when you look at this circle, Woodlawn is right underneath there. I'm gonna zoom in even bigger so you guys can see Woodlawn. That's his community, Woodlawn, and all DJs, photographers, and designers are linked to his zip code in Woodlawn. So just know this is the structure that's gonna allow us to turn Black life around. Every neighborhood with one profession. Calumet Heights got teachers, Chatham got the detectives, Humboldt Park got the chefs, Bronzeville got the authors, Washington Park got the travel agents. So just imagine what it looks like when we get the inventory done of our people, the children who want to grow up and be a DJ, the children who want to grow up and be a marketer, and we get them linked in with the others who are already in those professions that are retired or active. That's how we're going to make sure that they're not just roaming around the streets doing nothing. so
also, they have just to break you up, they got free DJ classes too. They got free DJ classes at that park on 80, 87 or 88 in Jeffrey. They got free DJ classes over there, just FYI. I found out what days, but they have every so many weeks.
Do you know there's brother Byron, Byron, yeah, Byron. He has a network of DJs. You heard of him, Gorman?
No,
Brian Gorman?
I have.
Yeah, I gotta make sure you get connected with him. Governor Erica Chatham, she works real close with him.
Okay.
Okay. All right, so let me pull this down. Let's get on with the second part of the agenda, the good news report. So here's the good news from this month of August. We have what we call ITR. That's information jobs, travel jobs, real estate jobs. This is the future Black economy the way we see it, because information is everything. Whoever has the information, they're in the driver's seat. Whoever has the information in the driver's seat. I don't care what it is. If that person has the information and you don't, they're in a greater position than you are. Not knowing is part of the ignorance. That's part of the way they can get over on you. Everyone is trying to get the information on the Black community, from what we're buying, where we go, because that's how they make money off of our information. Well, guess what? We have our structure in place, we have our system in place, and in the next 87 days, you should start to see the full power of what we have constructed that's taken 3 decades to do. So I'm excited about that. This is the document, and you guys, I'm gonna post this here too, so you guys can see it, ITR, and this is the good news, because there's a task force that's leading this now, and that's important. That way it's not on one person to do, it's about 10 people who's gonna help lead the ITR and get our people, 1,000 people, to move in coordination with each other. That's gonna be powerful. So that's it right there. You see it? The future, the new future for the Black economy is information jobs, travel jobs, real estate jobs. Then underneath that, the new everyday life is cats. The C is for conventions, always out of Gary, Indiana. The A is for awards, that's block by block. The tours is for our businesses, to make sure we're putting money in Black businesses and that we're going in one neighborhood and overwhelming that neighborhood with everything we got. And then the last one is today, the summits. The summits are always out of Chicago, the 4th Saturday of the month. That's how we hold ourselves accountable for what we're doing, convention, awards, and tour-wise, is at the summit. So that's what you're looking at here. And again, the task force is led by Judy and Terry. These are 2 elders that on Friday, they run the senior call. And so those are stable forces that's gonna make sure that this thing comes to fruition before November 20th this year. Any thoughts on that, DJ Clark? Oh, you on mute, so that's fine. The rest of the stuff, don't worry about that underneath it. That's just the foundation that we have, and I don't want to go too much into that. But the good news is we are less than 90 days away from seeing a Black revolution, and that's the good news. All right, now let me give you guys the Mississippi update. And this isn't as good news here, the Mississippi update. So, for those who don't know, there are 5 crucial places for Black people in the world. 5 crucial places. Those 5 places are the continent of Africa, no brainer there. The country of Brazil, because that's the largest African population outside of Africa. 120 million Afro-Brazilians in that country. We only 46 million in America. So they got us almost 3-1, Brazil. And they're told in Brazil, don't bring up race. Be quiet about race. You're Latino. But they are Africans and they get treated as such in their own country. After that, the state of Mississippi. The state of Mississippi. It's the closest state out of all 50 states to being 40% Black. So that's crucial for Black people. Then you have the city of Chicago, 3rd largest city in America, in the middle of America, meaning the core. That's very important. And that's where we based all 20 zip codes that's linked around the world out of Chicago. And then finally, Gary, Indiana. And why Gary, Indiana? Because it's right next door to Chicago. It shares the same lakefront, and it's a small city where Chicago is the 3rd largest city. So a small city as Gary can easily extract what it needs from Big Brother Chicago. So there's no reason why Gary isn't doing better when Black Chicago sees value and supports it. So those are the 5 crucial places. So right now I'm gonna give you guys the update on Mississippi. So we have 108 towns in Mississippi, 108 towns in Mississippi that we do newsletters for, that we check on what's happening in those towns. And these are small towns. So these are the towns that has less than 400 people in the whole town. Arcola, Cary, Cortland, Crosby, Doddsville, Falcon, Fort Adams, Glendora, Lewis, Montrose, Morgan City, Sartia, Sidon, Silver City, Summer, Walnut, and Winstonville. Those are the small towns. And I gotta say this because we're recording this so you guys can see it. For us to have these small towns that's 90% black, little bitty towns, it says something about every black person in America that we, especially in the big cities like LA, Chicago, New York, why we not overwhelming them small towns with resources so that we can have at least a model. These are little towns. We got little towns, 300 people in the whole town. We can create jobs for everyone in town. Black people, we can't, especially those up here in the north. But unfortunately, we taking trips overseas to Europe, and we got these small towns that's struggling and suffering in silence. Poverty rate is the poorest state in America. So I want to call your attention to that. Those are the small towns, less than 400 people. And let me give you this. House fire in Louisville and Louise, a cannabis deal was just struck in Marigold. And that's, you know, it didn't go to black people. We had $81,000 grant given to Doddsville to fix the port of Doddsville. What else? So that's just, the man hung himself in the jail in Sumner. And if y'all remember Emmett Till, and that's what DJ Claude, he's right close to where Emmett Till family was. He hung himself in jail in Sumner. That's down there where that happened, Glendora, Sumner area, Mississippi. So here's the towns in Mississippi that's between 400 and 1,000 people. Anguilla, Bentomia, Boo, Flora, Goodman, Ishola, Lyons. We got North Tunica, Patterson, Ross Springs, Scuba, Squalic, Sledge, Utica, and Woodville. These are the towns that are up to 1,000 people. Here's what's happening in those towns. We had 4 people arrested for a shooting in Bay Springs. We had a 66-year-old person killed in Beauregard. We had a man that was found safe, good news, in Boone, Mississippi. A fire at a house in Flora. We had the mayor, 42-year-old black mayor, died at home in Heidelberg. They renamed the fire station in Ross Springs. That's what happened this month. 5 murders in 1 month in Woodville, Mississippi. That's between 400 people and 1,000. Now let's go to the bigger ones. 1,000 to 5,000 people towns. Beechwood, Belzoni, Charleston, Como, Crenshaw, Durant, Drew, Euphoria, Friars Point, Hazelhurst, Itabena, Cosacusco, Lambert, Leland, Macon, Marks, Moorhead, Pickens, Port Gibson, Raymond, Rolling Fork, and Rosedale. These are the bigger towns, up to 5,000 people. Keep in mind, one Chicago zip code has 112,000 people and 129,000. That's 60629 Marquette Park, where we on tour at this whole month. They got almost 130,000 people in one zip code. These are the 1,000 to 5,000 places in Mississippi. So let me give you guys what's happening. That 41-year-old guy shot to death in Friars Point. A trooper car was set on fire in Euphoria. 16 set fires on the schools in Drew, Mississippi. 44-year-old arrested for car theft in Port Gibson. Terrytown. Terry is the richest town in Mississippi for black people. They had 3 new security cameras installed around the town. We had a person stabbed to death, girl arrested in Tutwiler. Man shot to death on Cherry Street in Tuchilla. 77-year-old missing man in Leland. That's some of the news there. We got 2 more, then we'll be done off Mississippi. And this is good for you guys to share with any of your family members in Mississippi so they can see we have our radar going and we're keeping up with what's happening in Mississippi. So I want y'all to know Mississippi is very important to us. Between 5,000 people and 16,000 people. So this is the bigger cities here. We have Batesville, Biloxi, Canton. We have Clarksdale, Cleveland, Columbus, Greenwood, Grenada, Indianola, Moss Point, Natchez, Centovia, West Point, and Yazoo City. These are 5,000 to 16,000 towns. Here's what we got that's happening now. We had 110 new citizens sworn in at the Biloxi High School down there. We had one person dead and a police officer hurt on McGuire Cole Street in Clarksdale. We have a woman shot herself in Columbus. We had two high school players shot in Grenada, Mississippi. A love triangle leads to 3 people, one person being killed, 2 others now facing legal stuff in Moss Point. Mother of 3 killed outside her home in Natchez. That's 5,000 to 16,000 people in those towns. Then we had 17,000 to 30,000 people populations. Greenville, Ocean Springs, Pascagoula, Starksville, and Vicksburg. So only those 5 places have up to 30,000 people. So these are the biggest towns in Mississippi. 36-year-old killed, 2 arrested in Greenville, Mississippi. They got a new senior citizen center in Pascagoula. 18-year-old shot to death on Riverwalk in Starksville. And Starksville isn't that black. It's a lot of whites in Starksville. 18-year-old killed and 3 others shot in Vicksburg. And then finally, those over 30,000, and the highest is 167,000, which is Jackson, Mississippi. These are the 5 towns in Mississippi: Gulfport, Hattiesburg, Jackson, Meridian, and South Haven. So 24-year-old arrested in Hub City in Hattiesburg. They was looking for this person. They got him. 24-year-old shot 3 others. 24-year-old killed, and 3 others shot in Meridian. And Meridian that's where the Navy Air School is. And it's not that black, so that's saying something. And then you got to crack down on crime in Memphis, Tennessee, but this is South Haven being tired of people from Memphis. They're at the border. They're tired of all the people at the border coming from Memphis into South Haven, and that's a white town, South Haven. And you can imagine a white police officer saying, "No, we ain't going for that." So they are getting ready to really set up some stuff at the border to ensure they're catching these guys coming down there doing smash and grabs, burglaries, and things of that nature. So that's that update on the rural towns. Clyde, if you got any thoughts on that, please share on that update on Mississippi. And if not,
Well, I was
that's
supposed to
fine.
be in Mississippi a couple of weeks ago, and I might be going down there for one day because I'm leaving town in the morning to go to Little Rock, Arkansas. I'll be down there for 4 days, 4 or 5 days. So I will be down in Mississippi maybe for one day. I don't know.
But send
But,
this video to your people that you get in Mississippi so they can hear that kind of details that we got.
Okay, I will. Definitely I will. Yeah. Yeah, because I don't know what's going on down there. I don't keep track, but you give me some good information so I can know what to look for as I'm going down there. Look out
Oh,
for.
yeah. Oh, for sure.
Mhm.
Okay, so here we go. This is the sad news. We're moving into the section where we talk about violence. I know I gave you some of Mississippi's violence, but this is going to get to our violence here in the Chicago and the 20 cities that we're in. And it's always sad, you guys. And I want to make sure people know, to us, to National Black Code University, the violence that's affecting our community, it's about our lifestyle. And our lifestyle is how we're going to turn it around. So you're not finna grant your way out of this. You're not finna talk your way out of this. We have to make a lifestyle tweak. We won't have to change everything. We got to tweak it. We call it HSN, Habits, Schedule, Network. Habits, Schedule, Network. So that HSN is how we live our life. What habits are we exercising every day? Some people are allowing their sons and daughters to be in their house and not have a job and stay up all night and hang out all night. If that's a habit, what is that going to produce? So some people have a habit of dealing with a lot of relationships, and you look at the love triangles that I talked about in Mississippi. So again, what are your habits? Some people have a habit of doing drugs, abusing drugs, habit of drinking. So your habits matter when we talk about this violence that we want to turn around. The next one is your schedule. How you use your time matters. Again, if you're hanging out all day, if you're not being productive, not trying to be productive, that scheduling can get you in the wrong place at the wrong time, and your life changes. Then the final one is the network. Who's in your phone? Who's in your, back in the day, we called it the Rolodex. Who's in your phone that you can call? And unfortunately, some of us, in their phone is a lot of negativity. In their phone is a bunch of contacts of people who are not being productive. That's the safe way of me saying that. So part of what we're doing here is, when I talked about every neighborhood being responsible for teachers, lawyers, judges, nurses, that's a network. That's exactly what we want to infuse in our people, some contact numbers of people who can be in their life, that want to build them up, to be in their life that's going to be positive. DJ Claude, for example, he puts money up to help our 10th graders. So if you're a parent of a 10th grader, DJ Claude is someone you want to know. If your child want to be an HVAC person or a DJ Claude is someone you want to know. So that last part of the anti-violence network, this is where this comes into fruition. That, do you have in your phone the number of people who can help elevate your way of life? Because right here, when you look at this here, Milwaukee, 28-year-old man shot to death on the north side, 86 in Good Hope in Milwaukee. One person shot, one person killed. When you look at 17-year-old shot to death in Humboldt Park in Chicago, 4 males jumped out the car and executed him on Holman and Franklin. 31-year-old man shot on Chicago Avenue, 5100 block. Driver shot in the neck, a rideshare driver. So when you look at this stuff that's happening, for Black people, it's personal. For Black people, it's personal. And that's why the HSN matters so much, because we got to take some of the air out of the anger that's out there from a traumatized people. Any thoughts on violence that you want to interject there, DJ Clark?
No, I'm good. No, with the violence, no, I think that I don't know what to say about that, because that's seems like that's just, it's not gonna get better to me. I don't think it's gonna get better. I'm just gonna be real. I don't think it's gonna get better, but they got to just keep. My thing is, if they got the kids active and whatnot, and we have to show more love
You have
towards the
left the
kids,
planned route.
and I think that would help if we always, like they build that community center for kids. That's gonna be a plus. They give them something to do. But for the grown-ups, I don't know about them. They lost.
So I'm glad you said that, so I can speak to it. So that's a perfect entryway, so I can give some commentary to that. Y'all heard DJ Claude, and a lot of you guys feel this way too. Like, can you see it changing? Can you see it turning around? And this is what I would say, big picture down to what we're seeing on the block. There are people who are profiting off of what you see.
Continue
Let me say
ahead.
that again.
Or
There are
2
people
miles. Then
who are
you will
making
arrive
money
at your
on
destination.
what you're seeing with this violence in our community. So whenever there's someone profiting off of that, that is where you go. That's where you start. You don't start with the low man if a little kid threw a baseball through your window, you don't argue with the little kid. You go to the leadership. You go to the top. Who's the parents of these children? So what I'm saying right now, the music industry is a big problem for Black America. The music industry is a big problem. And the music industry is led by California. It's a big problem. The fact that you can rap about shooting a person in the head, you can rap about kidnapping people, drugging their drinks, having sex with them, this is a problem. And this same terminology you can't use if you're talking about a certain religious group. You can't use terminology that degrades or put down hurting dogs. So there's people who are profiting as long as you're talking about doing things to Black people, but don't talk about animals, hurting animals, or a certain religious group. So that lets you know whoever is profiting on it know what they're doing in terms of what they're pushing and promoting. because they're not pushing and promoting anything that's going to hurt their neck of the woods. So this is how, as Black people, we got to not fight amongst each other. Remember, the guys out there on the street are the low-hanging fruit. They are the bottom of the barrel when it comes to what we're dealing with. There are people at the high level who are profiting on the guns being manufactured. Austria produces most of the Glocks, and Austria makes money when the Glocks are sold. So we got to go to the structures that profit first. Then you go to the systems that allow them to profit, which is our politicians. So that's how we had to approach this. And to what DJ Claude was saying, he don't see it getting no better. Here's what I would say. As long as we're clear that who's making money off of this, now what we can do as a people is we can pool our own resources amongst each other and be there for every every kid with those professions. So when you got 5 guys hanging on 63rd and King Drive, remember, divide and conquer matters. You can't try to get all 5 of them. We go get 1 out of the 5. And that 1 out of the 5 wants to be a carpenter. We go get him linked in with a carpenter, and then we go work on how he get to Detroit with the other carpenters. A lot of these people, our people, got to get out of the environment that they're in. You can't treat a crack addict in the crack house. And that's what we're trying to do. When we go out there, anti-violence, stop the violence, put the guns down. I need to get away. I need to go somewhere. All right.
That's right.
So yeah, DJ. So that's why when I mentioned the 20 other cities that every zip code is linked to, that's the outlet. You gotta have an outlet before you dig. You gotta have a place to put the dirt you digging up. So what are our outlets? So that's why I do have faith that we can turn this thing around, because we've been building relationships in 20 other cities as outlets. What do you think about that?
Now, I'm gonna say something that you just. I'm gonna clarify something you said about the music industry. The guys who getting the contracts are the ones who promote violence or is talking about violence. Those are the contracts are hand out. The contract is not hand out to somebody who singing gospel and R&B. Contracts is not handed out to them. Contracts is hollering out to the violence singers to
Big
sing
time.
about violence. That's who getting the contract, music contracts now.
Yep, big time, big time. And you just said exactly the point. There's profit. There's profit in the pain and suffering that we see.
Yeah.
That's people who make money. Now we believe in calling people out. So that's what we're gonna do, so people can know we're not just talking. We've done some research, and we wanna ask them to respond. So in the entertainment industry, just so people know how this is set up, you have the talent agencies. So the talent agency will take your son and daughter who wants to get into music, dance, whatever, and they go through the talent agency. So that's the hub. They come in. Right there in this talent agency is pay to play. You got to do something for me. It's why should I introduce you to some of these big names? And so this is the vulnerable point. That's the breaking point too, where people get in there and then they get corrupted, or they have to sign a contract that's just crazy, outrageous, or they have them do some things that's very compromising, film it. So now you got something over them. So our response to that as Black people is to make sure that we create our own version of a talent agency that will interact with our people. So you send your daughter out there to the agency, and we got our sister Tencent out there, and we're building up the LA entertainment piece that's independent. Now, if they do ask them to do something compromising, we have a block by block force that can intervene with that. So after the talent agency, then you get into, it's 4 companies out there, and these 4 companies out there is part of the process, whether you want to get into music, videos, things of that nature. So let's look at these. There's only 5 of them out there, you guys. So Universal Music Group, Lucian Grange is the CEO of that one. He's a Dutch American from the Netherlands, but he controls a lot of the artists that we appreciate, that are Black artists out there. So we got to ask Lucian Grange, what is his plan for the violence that's happening in these inner cities with some of the artists that is under the contract with you that's pushing things that say shoot a person, kill a person. We got to ask that. Paramount is another one. And these, just so people know, the music, the motion picture industry, and I would say about 50 years ago, that's when they got into the music industry. And so started out with motion pictures, now it's into music. And this is the biggest export of America. America's #1 export to the world is entertainment. And we don't control that. So that's part of the major problem, is that we are the main ones producing it, but we don't control it, and it gets to leave. It leaves us. So let me go into Interscope Records, DreamWorks, David Geffen, $7.7 billion man. David Geffen controls that. Mary J. Blige is signed under DreamWorks. Interscope, we know that from back in the day with NWA. So we got to ask David Geffen, what is your plan and vision for stopping the violence that some of your artists are pushing and promoting in our community? We got to ask that question. Mr. Lee, iHeartRadio, we got to ask Mr. Lee, what's the plan when we're playing music that's pushing, put 3 in his head, kill him, shoot him? Got to ask Mr. Lee, what's the plan with that? Who else we got? Rahm Emanuel's brother, Ari Emanuel, he's with Endeavor out there. We got to ask Rahm Emanuel, what's the plan for anti-violence? So when I hear people, especially in the inner cities, and they going out saying, put the guns down, that's low-hanging fruit. We got to go to the power brokers, who's making deals and who's making money. And we can't be afraid to put that out there. So any thoughts on that? Then we'll move on to the next section.
That's very, very true.
No, we got to, because people are dying out here. That's how serious this is. And any profession, any of these companies who feel like they can absolve themselves from it, shame on you. And we're going to keep building block by block so we can hold everyone to account for what their role is and making it safer for all people. So we got to do that. All right. So now we're on that was the entertainment conspiracy section. And again, full disclosure, I don't have no proof that these companies are doing this. What I'm saying is what they're not doing is being as vocal about how to shut it down, how to stop it. That's what so I have no documentation to show you that they're promoting it, but I would say this. When Kanye West said some things that wasn't appreciated by them, he was shut down. So that tells you something. So what was that? DJ Clyde, what was you saying?
Hold on.
Okay. So yeah, so we waiting on DJ Clyde, but that's what I'm saying to us. We're saying everyone should at least issue a statement on how we're finding a way to have music out here that tells people to eat their backside, to shoot a person in the head. Like how do they get played at parades and other places? How are they on commercials when they're pushing something that says something that hurts another human being? Every person in power got to answer that. What was that?
Now I know one thing, record labels is not responsible for a lot of stuff neither. I'm gonna say that because they posting this stuff on social media just as well. So social media let it go. They don't monitor, they can't monitor everything on social media, but some of this stuff is being self-promoted on social media.
Well, let me say this to you. I've been banned off Facebook for 1 year. They took away all my controls of all the pages we had because of me not meeting the community standards. Picture that, the community guy all day not meeting the community standards, but it's because I believe in highlighting and calling out the contradictions, and so that's what that is. So what I'm saying to you, if they wanted to, they can do this to a person like me who won the Thomas Jefferson Award, you know what I mean, for unsung hero. Right. Trust me, they can stop it if they want to.
The reason why they did it to you because you promote positivity. If you wasn't promoting positive stuff, something positive, they wouldn't have did that to you because they did to Louis Farrakhan. They banned him completely, and he wasn't doing hate. He was just trying to teach the blacks, and they banned him.
That's what I'm saying. When you're a threat to the control,
Right.
you're dealt with, and that's a
Yep.
perfect example of that. All right. So I see we got our superstar governor on here, and we got Katrina Faulkner on here. So we're gonna loop them in right now. The section we're on now is missing persons and vacant buildings. So let's bring Governor Denise in first. Governor Denise, how you feeling?
Hey, Ryan, I'm feeling better. I got one of them sinus colds.
Yeah, I can hear it in your voice. Well, we not gonna ask you to speak too much, but what would you offer to the people in terms of encouragement of what you're seeing out there, and possibly what we should be doing?
I want to let everybody know, please don't get tired, because my grandmother didn't get tired working down there on the farm. My mother didn't get tired. So I refuse to get tired. Sometimes we have to stop spending our money with certain people. And I'm like this. I feel if we don't buy their merchandise for a week, they'll ask, what's wrong with us? And
No
when I
doubt.
say that to people, they tell me, oh, we can't do that. Yes, we can. You know, so keep up the good work. Don't get discouraged by whatever negative you hear. If that means freeze your dollar, freeze your dollar. Because when we give them our dollar, they don't put it back over here.
Right.
And I'm 70 years old. I'm a living witness. You know, and the restaurants that's over here, they food don't look like when I go out to the suburbs. When I go to the same McDonald's, same Burger King, all these restaurants, they stuff look way better. You get way better. And all this, so they put it in our neighborhood. We think we got something going on because we can ride the bus there, or we can ride a bike or a scooter there, or we can get somebody to drop us off there. No, they need to be held up to par. And
No
I'm
doubt.
ready. Hey, like what you just said, what they did to Kanye West, call them out. What you doing? I don't never hear them saying nothing about a Jew. They ain't singing no song about them school shooting with them other folk. Oh, I forgot. I better say white tea. I didn't mean to say shoot. I meant pew pew. You know. So they ain't singing about all they stuff. And everybody has a cause that they rally behind. They
Right.
don't rally for all. And we need to start holding people accountable. I'm fixing to start now writing letters. We need to learn finance. I'm just finding out about stuff that stopping me from moving from place to place for a medical bill back in 2008, 2004. And they running that through my name because we don't know nothing about LLCs. That's why Trump getting away with all. That's why they got their stuff in the LLCs and you can't touch them. And it's hard to touch their money. And they don't get a bad credit name because everything goes through the LLC. See, we don't know nothing about the finance, but we don't want to read that. I'm not accusing nobody, but I can't afford. We watch them streaming services. We watch them shows. We watch Ghosts. I don't even know nothing about them shows because I ain't spending my money on it. I ain't even got my laptop and computer set up. I'm on a phone. I'm trying to maintain finances. So some of us need to come off them streaming services and get on some educational services. Teach our
Agree
own children some
with
stuff.
on that.
You know, look, they got, I bought some Black History cards, ABC cards, and all that. Come on now. It ain't no more. Why you think they putting all us seniors in the senior building? They don't want us mother hens in the neighborhood no more, teaching in the backyard. I used to have children in my backyard. I taught them how to take care of the property, pull the weed, wash clothes, wash hair. I even had them dye my hair and then paid them. I fed them good. But now they want to put me in the senior building now, so don't teach no more of that. They don't know no. And look, and it's a shame. I watched the baby cut my cell phone on when it wasn't locked. I didn't have a lock on it and went straight to Coco Melon. And I'm trying to figure out how she know that, but she can't even use the pot. So we just got to bite that bullet. Look, get down like we used to. Look, Saturday might be it's Children's Day, but guess we finna learn something. Sunday, I'm finna put this in your head. We need to get back to that. You know, when we own something, then we can party. As long as we rent, the name of this world game is Black People Rent Forever. And I'm a witness of it. So don't get this look. I ain't discouraged. I'm gonna go back at it next year trying to buy some property. I ain't through. If my grandmama could do it and she worked a farm doing Jim Crow, what's wrong with me? Thank you.
That's powerful. That's saying a lot. DJ Clyde, you was about to say something about what Governor said?
Now I agree with her on what she said, cause she doing a lot, and I applaud her for that 100%. You know, cause I tried to do a lot for the little hoodlums on my block instead of me going off snapping off on them. Cause I got into it with about 2 times, and I had told the detective last time. I said, look, I've been trying to tell them they can use some of my equipment to cut the grass with and whatnot, but they was getting out of hand. So, and one time they was throwing gang signs up. And they did it at me. I said, well, I told you, check. I said, if I call you, might well bring body bag. Because I got fed up with it. But then we had Block Hood to come out, and we were trying to help them out as much as we can. And that's why I applaud her doing what she's doing, because she's trying to educate them, you know, with the Black history and all that. So I really applaud, because we don't have that anymore. We really don't. We don't have that. They're getting rid of our history. So,
Oh, yeah, let me
yeah,
put
so I
this out
applaud her
there.
for it.
Let me put this
I
out
was
there.
just gonna
Anybody
say
know a group home?
she telling my whole story, and she said how to take
Now I'll
care of
get
the
ready to
neighborhood.
bring you up. Yeah, I'm gonna bring you up. Go ahead, Governor Denise.
Okay,
We're gonna
I
bring
got
Katrina.
Go ahead.
my family. I got to unload this equipment to do this party. So
Okay.
I
Oh
love
no, go
y'all.
ahead. You
Keep up
good?
the good work.
All right,
Um,
appreciate you. Yeah.
if
Okay.
anybody know of a place where I can donate some clothes to some Black children, either in group homes or something, because my guy, he has a lot of clothes, and he got shoes and stuff he can't wear. And if there's anything that they would like out of that, and it's some nice stuff, I would rather give it to them than to donate to
You
another
got
place that I
you
volunteer.
got me on the line. I'm the lady, that little old lady in the shoe, take care of everybody don't know what to do.
Peter, let me get your address
You
down.
you actually was telling my story when you was talking about how you take care of the neighborhood kids. I was taking care of everybody after my mom passed on 66 in Union. And it wasn't actually the kids for me or the teenagers. It was the organization people who wanted to push me out the neighborhood because I was doing a positive here. And they was promoting, trying to stop the violence, but they was the ones causing the violence.
Now, Katrina,
I need that address.
what, what, what,
I'm gonna take this to the side. He gonna give it to you for me.
yeah.
All right.
So let me
Cool.
let me introduce Katrina the right way. So the bottom line, you guys, I read to you the zip codes. So our sister here is from the 60621 zip code, but also 20 zip code, and her last name is F. Y'all know this is the F through K. So y'all see Denise King was on here, Claude Hayes was on here, H. Now we got Katrina Faulkner on here. So I thank you for taking time out getting on here within the structure and the system. This young lady here has young women, young girls primarily. I know you got guys too, but I see the young women, and she has them learning coordination in dance and sports, things of that nature. But as you know, to have young people's attention, to have their attention, have them wanting to be around you, you got to have something that attracts them. And so this lady has been able to attract not only her children, but neighborhood children, having them dancing and going to parades and things of that nature. And I wanted her to come on here and share kind of the journey, what it's like, how do you get young people involved under the youth section. So go ahead, Sister Katrina.
Well, I'm basically say music is actually what attracted a lot of the kids in the community. I started from my nieces and nephews, but my mom, she ended up dying, and then I moved on 66 in Union. And my daughter, she went and got all these kids, and for some reason, hey, name it how you want to name it, but the game back is just they sat on my front porch, they ate at my house, they needed to take a shower. I had somewhere for them to go to because we got to keep them occupied. We can't label nothing. We been kids and did crazy stuff too. So, you got to get them something to occupy their time instead of just clowning them like we ain't tried something they did. They don't know no better if we don't teach them something different.
Now,
So
you kind of young too, though, right? Like you in the age bracket that.
Well, no, I look a little young, but I'm 42. 42 years old, and I've been doing this over. My oldest nephew is 32. So I've been
But you
raising
was in your
kids since I
20s
was
though
9.
when I met you, right? You was in your
Yeah.
20s, so you were young when I saw you with the young people.
Well, now I was like 30, 34, 35 then. I just still got the same kid ponytail. I look like one of the kids.
Well,
So
you
I
see,
blend in
man,
kind of weird with them. Yep,
you
that's the
see.
gray. That's my gray streak. God gave me the wisdom and knowledge to help them. So I'm gonna be honest with you. Like I said, we all been a little while. I've been incarcerated myself, to the jail system, to the prison. but we don't want them to go down the same path. So we have to find something to occupy their time. I had bikes, I had games, I had jump ropes. Like she said, with donations, the city never helped me out with nothing. They denied me for a lot of stuff. So other people is who helped me occupy these kids and keep them out of the system.
Now, Governor Frances Newman, what does she mean to you?
Hey, that's my A1. When I tell you she believed in me for me to get the name for my company, and she seen what I was doing. Because Miss Francis got 10 kids. Landon Broughton, he had 10 kids. I had 2 kids of my own, but I had to step up and take care of my sister kids, brother kids, community kids, everybody. I didn't ask for it, but by the grace of God, I raised over 200. So when I moved, they moved. When I went to school, they went to school. They went to work.
Now, Governor Denise, that's Governor Francis who she's talking about. Y'all been together in some of the other events. And next month, Governor Francis should be on because her last name is Newman. So next month is ends. So to hear Katrina speak, that says something for you to pay homage to her. And she got her own time.
That's the one. When I tell you, I tried to get out the road, but Miss Francis like, Katrina, you do this every day. And like I say, it didn't start with just us. And what she was saying, how to take care of the book, The Little Old Lady in the Shoe, came from all us women or men that took care of these community people. It just, they gave us the little woman in the shoe, got all the kids don't know what to do. I didn't ask for this title. I didn't ask for this position. But my elders stepped down and they passed it down through the generation lines. My mother's, my grandmama, my auntie, and I'm the baby girl now, still trying to take care of everybody.
Now, you in Chicago, you in one of the toughest neighborhoods in Chicago. For our people that is going to watch this from Memphis and Detroit, is Chicago as bad as advertised?
Well, it depends how people want to make it. I mean, it's bad everywhere. It ain't just Chicago. It's bad everywhere. But if somebody step out the way and help out somebody, you just can't label it. Just can't talk about it. If you don't really, I've been on all the grounds for all over the city because I'm a hairstyle advisor, I'm a soul ambassador, I'm a college connector. I walked into all the communities. It's messed up everywhere, but that's because we outside just standing and say, oh, they in a crowd of people. But if you go over there and talk to them crowd of people, you'll be shocked at how many positive people standing right there. Looking at an outer appearance, that don't mean that that's a bad person.
Is there any hope?
Yeah, it's some hope. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I raised over 200 of them. And the majority of them are doing pretty good.
Excellent. Well, I believe that already. I wouldn't be doing what I do if I felt it was open.
They doing pretty. I'm proud of them. They finishing school. They doing. I mean, I understand everybody want everybody to go to college, but trade work is a good passion for them too. Because sometimes you gotta keep their hands busy. If you keep their hands busy doing something they love, I had a cousin. Hey, he used to steal cars at 7 years old. Now he fixing them cars. He got a real license for it. So, like I said, you can't look at an outer appearance, or if somebody's sitting at this house and there's a lot of crowd of them and label as that's the negative environment. No, that's the positive. I was labeled for the block I lived on because there was so many outsiders looking from community organizers and everybody. But they had no idea. If they would have come and talked to me, they didn't know it was positive going on at their household.
Well, that's what I try to make sure I put out there so people will know. A broken clock is right twice a day, and it's not doing anything. So when we say someone is bad or we give up on someone, the sad part about that is you could have been right there before you gave up on them, and they was ready to make the change. And what happens if your creator do that to you? And so that's why you got to be slow to write someone off, because personally, and I've been out here a long time, I haven't met no one that raised their hand, woke up in the morning saying, I'm ready to be a loser.
Right. And you
waking
know what?
up in the morning, let me lose today.
Right. So. Everybody is not college bound, but a lot of these trades, machines can't do. A machine can't be a carpenter, a plumber, electrician. I want our children to get involved in that because guess what? Them white tea people is getting old now. And them jobs going to be open to where this is our time to come right on in.
No, that's what the migrants for.
Skip that. We can.
Well, we got a lot of our people. They good at it. It's just if you don't go and speak to these people about certain stuff, you'll never know what they good at doing. We don't open up clothes, like they say, closed mouth don't get fed.
So yeah, I was being funny there, but yeah, that bottom line, that's right. So let's do this because we got coming up next, the missing persons here. And this here is really unfortunate because it's mainly our Black women. And when you got vacant houses on the block, if someone is missing, how do we know if that building was searched or not? What's our methodology? Are we putting a red mark on the front of the door to let it know it's been searched? This is the train of thought we want to get in our people block by block so that we can make sure that if someone is missing, that at least that person isn't on your block. Y'all remember when tragedy struck Jennifer Hudson's family? Y'all remember that?
Yeah.
So while them 3 or 4 days they was looking for little Donald, all the way on the west side, right down the street from where I was on the board at the Franklin Park Field House, that's where his body was. And we had put the call out. We searched Indiana, Gary, Indiana, when we was looking for the black blazer, and it was sitting right there. And my boy Tony lived right there. He can see it out his front porch. And I was so disheartened because he hear me preaching on online, social media, and that truck was broadcast everywhere, and he didn't share that info. And I just said, this is the problem. Like, we gotta control our block. We gotta at least make sure if someone is missing, not on my block. Like in the military, not on my watch, not on my block. So if we don't cover our block, then we in a world of trouble because there's only, so many addresses on the block. What do y'all think about that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, doing outreach work, you just can't like where that building is a vacant building. I knocked on. I was telling the man like, no, it look like it's a vacant building, and you never know like what squatters or people don't have a stable place to go into, and a whole family was living in there. I was willing to go past, and the man like, no, we go, and we looked up. The lady was like, she said, I don't got nowhere to go to with my kids, and that we ended up finding out this was a whole house of 2 floors of family members, people, different families living there.
Yeah.
So like I said, we can't assume it's an assumption thing to walk past and say that's abandoned building, this and that. And even not just that, my building I lived in, my landlord had ended up passing away. So a lot of the constructions and stuff to it, I couldn't remodel. I had no funding. I had the people I went to ask for help. I had no help. Then I looked around, they said, parent neglect of the building, but I wasn't the owner. So because they seen so many people there, they labeled as this was a bad building, this is that. Nobody was willing to help me and my family out or the other kids I helped out as well. I just thank God for the grace of God, we was able to move out that apartment into a different environment.
Yeah. No, I was happy for you as well. That's needed. I want y'all to look at this because this is the future, and when we get organized like this is going to help our people out. Because we're getting ready to move. We're gonna be going into education here shortly. Eddie Johnson should be getting on here, but this here is kindergarten through 12th graders, and this is us being intentional every year, making sure that they get these people to know them, to financially support them, to be there to mentor them if need be. So like 3rd graders, for instance, all the beauty supply stores owned by the Koreans in our neighborhood, we want them financially putting resources into 3rd grader spelling bee competition. We want the carpenters. You build our porch, we want you also to put some money into the 3rd graders math competition. U.S. Marine veterans, we want you to put some into the history, 3rd grade history, social studies. Restaurants, when we go and eat, hey, restaurants, we want you to pour into the 3rd grade science competition. So when we have these professions pouring resources into those type of competitions, that makes 3rd grade exciting. What do y'all think about that?
I mean, that would be good, but the thing is, how do we get these people to help out? I mean, and say I asked for help myself, and not once did none of these people that came around here, organizations, police stopped at, nobody was willing to donate to help out. Nothing that we was doing positive. So where do we start at to look at that? I mean, even me being in an organization company, we have a web of support. We have to find out like who is willing out these different locations to help out.
So the good news, every Wednesday is Bad Black Day. So Governor Denise, for instance, she sends me the list of the restaurants she go and eat at. We get them on the mailing list. We can mail out and do that. Same for you. Now, when you go and eat at, Harris Chicken, let them know, hey, I'm gonna have this guy side call you, that type of thing. So it's gonna be hand by hand warfare, hand by hand combat as we moving about our days, spending our dollars. How can we make sure that it's coming back? When someone cut your grass, look at fourth graders, landscape. You in control if you go keep paying that landscape and he not gonna put nothing into fourth grade spelling bee. So you get what I'm saying? It's person by person. Okay?
But what she's saying is, if that means we need to know the business that the person is doing so that we can get their telephone number and then somebody contact the business. Because okay, or either when we go to that, like if they go to the nail shop, write down the name of the nail shop with the address and stuff, so that then we can put them on notice.
Well, that's what name your for is. You know how you name your for? So when you do that, that's what's happening behind the scenes. So behind the scenes, we're by zip code compiling a list of the businesses that we heard are in that zip code, and we match it with our zip code brochure. So we got a business brochure with the Black businesses in every zip code. Now, the problem is we need the people to tell the owners who we are, because we waste a lot of time. Okay. We reach out to these businesses and hey, who are you? What? But if that's Katrina, if that's your cousin that own it, now that makes it easier for us. And we ain't got to spend all this time validating who we are. So we need help is the point.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying, like, where do we start at to find out where do we get this help from? Because I mean, I've been looking for a lot of years, and I'm the connector to a lot of everybody, but for some reason, a lot of people, just because they got these organizations, they are not willing to help right exactly in their own community.
Well, you got Governor Denise now. Denise been with us forever, and I've been wanting y'all to know each other for a long time. So this is the benefit of stuff like this. So now y'all go be able to rock and roll. All right. Is Governor Charles on here? Governor Charles, you on yet? Let me take this down. All right. All right, Governor Charles trying to get on. Let me send this link to him. All right. And so both of you ladies, y'all did y'all 5 minutes, so y'all don't have to stay on. It's extra duty if you staying on, because the next section is I'm about to go over money, finance, and whatnot. So feel free to stay on though. Don't worry about that. I'm just wanted to make sure you guys were clear. If you need to drop off, you can.
No, I'm ready to hang since I be missing some. I can catch up.
Okay. So now
Yeah,
what we
I'm free, and then I definitely make sure I get you my information.
Okay, thanks, Katrina.
You welcome.
I'm glad I spoke up.
Now, Katrina, you and Pam Dominguez haven't met yet. That's your governor for where you live at, 60620. And then now you just broke bread with Governor Denise in West Inglewood, 60636. So you'll have two governors to interact with.
Okay, that's cool. I mean, my church is in 606 36 area.
You hear that, Governor Denise? That's what I'm talking about. What needs to happen right there.
Right there, Faith Tabernacle on 64th and Asher.
Oh
yeah? Yeah, that's my church home now, Faith Tabernacle. I'm in the choir. Okay. I was coming from choir rehearsal.
Ain't that the church you was helping out, Denise?
No, they moved. That church moved.
Okay.
That church I was helping out moved.
Okay. All right, cool. Okay, so this is where we at on the by November 20th, we want to electronically have 1,000 individual people send $1 in. All right. What I did to show how this works. So my birthday is January 10th. So since 2018, my wife sends out something, and it's just crazy how many of you guys be sending in your $12, like literally. And I put this thing together. I call it the bazooka, because it just shows the power when we pool money together like that. So we talking about like $1,000, and and real quick time. I'm gonna put this up so y'all can see it. Governor Charles is on here now. That's good. Let me take this down. Let me show you guys the bazooka here.
Hey, Shy.
What's up, Governor? I see you. Can you hear me? Can y'all hear me, or is it just Governor Charles?
I can hear you.
hear you.
So he must be on mute then. All right. So anyway, I'm trying to pull it up. So let's keep going. When I get it pulled up, we'll come back to it. So we got to hit construction. We got to talk about construction real quick. So Reverend Taylor is our leader for plumbing, just like you guys met DJ Claude, who's he's a HVAC person. So Reverend Taylor, he's been really supportive of getting the Black plumbers to buy into 12th grade university. The idea of putting money behind 12th graders, and y'all know one of the success stories was we had a 12th grader who he missed his Greyhound bus going to his family. And it worked out because our plumber put up $100 for 12th graders. And so it worked out that this young man was on the phone with his mom, and they was really disappointed that he missed it. They didn't have money for a repeat. And so he's getting ready to go back to his other family member house. And it just worked out that we had this $100 that's for a 12th grader. He needed $60 to get the new bus. And it just made sense to merge that together. And what I shared with the young man, what we got to have from you is a picture so that we can show as a receipt to our $100 funder, and that matched 12th grade support by the plumbers together. And it just shows when we get the professions to agree to that grade, what difference it makes. And the family, they said, he ain't no predator talking about me. Like, what do you want a picture of you for? Why he giving you free money? And I told him, go on our website, look it up so you can see this is what we do. We've been doing it for a long time, but it's about loving our people, loving our community, and matching where it makes sense at. What do you guys think about that?
I think that's a great idea.
That's a win-win situation. That show that we not doing the handout thing, we doing the help up thing. We doing the together thing. If we all contribute so much, we can help so many.
That's exactly that's what I told people. That's doing for self. Like that ain't asking, hey, help me, government, give me my tax money back. This is us saying we're gonna pour into our own people. That's what that represents. So I love that because that's a perfect example of that. So all right. So I'm gonna have to bring this up on this other screen here on the other computer. All right. So anyway, on the construction side, we have Anthony Collins. He's in the Roseland area. Governor Charles, you able to speak about this brother here? We're telling what he's doing with the electrical school side.
Hello, everyone.
What's up, Governor?
All right, what's up? I tried to jump on that phone, but I didn't know how to link. But yeah, the brother that does the electrical thing, I mean, it's a real cool thing just to go in that place and look at what he have set up there. Wow, it really blew my mind, And what I was saying when we seen that side, what I was saying, if we have that in every zip code, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Because it's a full training ground for electricians.
And he wants the ex-offenders, right? He wants people who've been through something.
Yeah. So I think it's a real great giving a leg up. And that's why I say we had that in every zip code. That's so much success that will come out of that one thing that I could see,
Everyone, I'm the boss man.
Yeah.
All right, let me show you guys this. Thanks, Governor. Now,
Yep.
I want to. This is gonna hopefully excite you guys here. It's hard to see it. Let's see if I can make it bigger here. Let's see if I can blow it up a little bit. Can y'all read that? All right, y'all on mute. So let me go over this. So what this is this is our directory for the Black businesses by zip code. So this is 60612 Black businesses, and it lists the barbers, the beauticians, the liquor stores, Black owned. This is 60623. Wherever you see the X at, that means we've identified a Black business there. If it's blank, that means we don't know of a Black business there. Maybe you can tell us if your family member has a business and we just don't know about it. I just want to go through the zip code so you guys can see. This is North Lawndale. This is Garfield Park. You see that picture there? So we do want to put the owner's picture there so that we can really get to know the owners in our community. So this Miracle Foods here, that's our brother there, Brinson. Then we got 60639, which is North Austin community. We got 60644, South Austin community. The barbershops, we got the beauty supply, we got the car washes there. Max Records right there, 5425 West Madison. Then over here, we got 60651, apparel business there. And remember, every one of these businesses are linked to a different grade, you guys. So when I said that, this is what we're working toward, getting them to financially commit to that grade. Now we move on to South Side. This is the New City Community, 09. Again, we got the bank here, Southside Federal Credit Union. That's Black owned, you guys, right there on 5401 South Wentworth. 60620, there you go. We got Taylor Wright Cleaners, 8335 Racine there. We got Jazzy's Cleaners, 77th and Ashland. Then we got Inglewood, 60621. And all of these are dated. So we gotta, this is a every month we should be updating it type thing. But you see some of the businesses that Inglewood Hardware, 1013 West 63rd Street. Then we got Marquette Park, 60629, the barbershops. Wherever you see the X's, that means we got real Black businesses there. And then WW Jackson Funeral Home is there on 63rd, 2701 63rd Street. We got the restaurant that shut down, so we got to take them off of there. They closed down. All right, let's move on to the next one. Now we got 60636. That's the governor on here with us right now. So Longevity Barbershop, 6801 South Ashland. Katrina, you probably know brother Casey.
Yeah, I know
over there.
Mr. Casey. I know
There
Mr.
you
Casey.
go.
I'm working with him, passing out stuff to the community.
So yeah, there you go. That's his real picture there. We got Tess right there, 1605 Garfield Vans Car Wash. This zip code is the car wash headquarters. They got the most Black-owned car washes out of our 20 zip codes. Bryant Painting, he's right there on 69th and Ashland. So that's that zip code. 60652. Brittany is coming on later. D&D Donuts, 83rd and Kedzie. Now we move over east of the Dan Ryan Expressway, 60615 zip code. Again, these X's, Sip and Savior, like our version of Starbucks, Black owned. Silver Room, Black owned. Then we move over to 60617 zip code. We got 200 Pharmacy, a Black owned pharmacy, y'all. A Black owned pharmacy still in existence, 9133 South Stony Island. So this type of information, Celebrity Lounge, we interact with the queen here, Vicky Hosey. I wanted her to get on because her last name is this month, Vicky Hosey, but she's right there, Celebrity Lounge, 2020 East 83rd. Real strong queen. She interacts with us. 60619 is Chatham. There go Roosevelt Glass. He's a House of Decor is his company. He's a seamster, master seamster, sewing things. He teaches my wife because she's a up and coming seamstress there. So he's like a mentor to her. Then we get to Chatham got so many Black businesses, it's got 2 pages there. So they go to the second page of it. All right. Then we got Roseland, Governor Charles on here right now. Legends Barbershop, 11201 Michigan. We got Edwards Fashion, 113th in Michigan. We got the famous donuts over there. Ambassador Floral, 11045 South Halsted. So still got some black businesses in our zip codes, you guys. What zip code is this? This is 606. 28 got 2 pages too. Is that many businesses in that zip code too? All right. Let me go back. So this laundry service is Fresh and Clean. Governor Charles, you heard of them? So Fresh and Clean, 318 West 115. You might
No,
be
I
on mute.
haven't heard of them.
Okay, so yeah, so them. Then this is Woodline. So Woodline, it's a black mecca on 63rd to 65th on King Drive. Those are a bunch of black businesses that we don't even recognize as that. Have any of y'all seen the black businesses on that strip, 63rd to 66 on King Drive?
No, I don't travel down that way.
Yeah, I was gonna say I haven't been down that way in a while.
You got Laundry World, 63rd. You got Taylor Wright. You got Crusader newspaper there. You got the barbershop there. All those are black owned, and we would love to see them do something where they do a block party because it's right next to Old Block. They do a block party to give away something because we got literally a Hispanic man who been there for 15 years when the old McDonald's was there selling food, and our people is financially supporting it, and that money leaves our community within the 8-hour shift. It is so crazy that the money out of the projects there goes right into a person that leaves our community, can care less about what's happening in our community. And all our black restaurants over there should be having a fit that we letting that money leave our community. Because Chinatown, Greektown, Little Italy, they ain't having it. All right, so that shows disregard. That's Woodline. Then we have 60643. Governor Charles, you did link me up with another brother over here. I haven't added him, but we got Black Cat Lounge, 1640 West 115th Street. That brother Scoops Hair Mechanics over there. Then we got South Shore. All right. Dunes Auto Sales is still there. They just honored Coleman's Barbershop over there. Cage Memorial, the funeral home, is still over there. That's black owned. We got the most black owned laundromats in this zip code out of all our 20 zip codes. So like 60636 got the most black car washes. 60649 got the most laundromats, black owned. What else we got? 2 pages for 60649. That's a little strong hotspot of black businesses in South Shore. All right, 60653 is the last one. That's the Burnsville neighborhood. This neighborhood has changed drastically. So a lot of this has to be updated because there's a lot of higher income earners over there now. So that's the safe way I can say that. Any thoughts on that, you guys? Okay. All righty. So moving on along here. So Eddie Johnson, we was hoping he would jump on. Governor Charles, you being a teacher, him being a teacher too, I wanted to talk about the education piece. So we can go ahead and tackle education, and if he gets on, we'll get his input. But every grade, we need to have the black version of education. Every grade, we need the black version of it. If it's for as adults, for us to send our children so that they can learn that America was discovered by Christopher Columbus, and we think that's appropriate. That says more about us as leaders than it do the children who's on the receiving end. So they should hear about it. We should know what's being put out there, but they need to have the other side so they can use discernment to know when they're being propagandized versus being educated. And so we have kindergarten university through 12th grade university. On the website, and I'm gonna share my screen, I'm gonna show you guys how you can access this too. On our website, we put together the curriculum for kindergarten university to 12th grade university. If you're in Detroit, this applies to you. If you're in St. Louis, it doesn't matter where you are. This is applicable because we had to take education in our own hands in so many words. So let me share my screen so you guys can go to the website with me here. Okay, here we go. So I don't want y'all seeing too much stuff here. So I'm be being nosy, everybody. Just watch what I do here. That's the downside sharing your screen. There we go, right there. This is our website. So when you go to the website, the top 3 lines here to your upper left, we hit that, and we're gonna go to education. We're gonna go to Team 4 Education, right there. So when you hit Team 4 Education, this is what comes up. Kindergarten all the way to 12th grade. So let me just show you guys all the brochures that have helped break down what we're talking about. So we're gonna go to 12th grade, and it say full year expectations right there. So I'm gonna click on that. And this is what we have for every single grade. When you open this up, it's telling you in August, which is this month, for 12th graders, we want to make sure that they can spell fortuitous. I can't spell fortuitous. We want to make sure them 12th graders can spell that without looking at it. Hypothesis, insequential. I know I'm butchering that. But the point is, these are words at that level that they should be fluent with. Let me get y'all thoughts on that. What do y'all think about that? Y'all might be on mute.
This is Governor Denise. I think that's a beautiful idea because before I had to get ready to move, I was thinking about putting a word in front of my yard every day with a definition on it.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Mm-hmm. And the key with this, again, we say university because it's certain blocks that we want to see run this. So Village 1730 is Burnham, Muskegon, Escanaba, and Exchange, 79th Street to 82nd. So they don't even know. Our vision is that they will lead all the 12th graders in the whole city of Chicago and the churches over there, that they would do 12th grade Summer Olympics, 12th grade Fall Olympics, 12th grade Winter Olympics, 12th grade Spring Olympics. So it justifies the churches being utilized for a citywide effort that's focused on 12th graders. And remember, we got businesses assigned to support 12th graders, like the plumbers. What do y'all think about the match? And this is just 12th grade alone, you guys. We got this for all 13 grades.
Yeah, well, it's Governor Charles. I mean, just piggybacking off just what Denise say, it's beautiful. As far as coming up with, just like she say, put a word of the day out or something like that, because education is just like travel. It's going to be forever. You know, that's forever. Education is forever. And the travel with education is good. I mean, they get to travel. The 12 from our high school, you know how we do with the high school level. And I think that's the unique thing where plumbers are masked up, because plumbers are an institution inside itself, and linking them, some of them educate, some of them that's K through 12 want to be probably that plumber. So it rides together with me. That's how I think about it.
And that's real talk.
You know how I was getting my sign. You know, when people run for office, and when the election over, I was going up picking up the sign. I was going to paint over, but I brought them here in the yard, and the homeowner didn't understand what I was doing. And he threw them away. That was a free sign for me to advertise.
Yeah.
So I'm just putting it out there. Look, in a few more, they're gonna be putting them signs out there. All we got to do is snatch them up. That's our free sign.
Well, make after. Don't snatch them up before, because you get in legal trouble.
No, I waited till after. Well, I had so many of them, and my feelings were so hurt when they went to the. I said, "Oh Lord," they go, "Oh, I could have had I could have had my Black history on one, my education on one, my spiritual on one, but you know, we not on the same level. You know, I know how to take other people's stuff and use it for something positive."
Yeah, that's a good idea. That's a good idea, Denise. That way people going out buying that stuff, and here we got it right here for free.
Right.
Just
Yeah.
That's a
you
great
just gotta
idea.
have a mindset. You just gotta have that mindset.
Right.
You know.
November 5th, we get a bunch of free signs.
That's advertisement signs and everything else.
Yeah, look, I'm putting it out there so we can put it out there. November 5th at 7 o'clock when the polls close. Get your sign.
Hey, I did it when I ran for office, so it's definitely what we could do. So no doubt about that. So the last thing on this before we take this down, I want to highlight those blocks, you guys, because when we talk about the shooting and killing and the violence, what else is there going on in our neighborhoods? Where's the vibrancy? Or are we dealing with desolate? Everything is dry bones and nothing is moving. Neighbors not talking to each other. So anyone can come in and do anything because there's no vibrancy. So when we go on 79th and Burnham, what is the plan? What is the vision? They might have a block club led by 3 senior citizens, and the youth can care less about that block club. What's the plan? How does Burnham interact with 79th and Muskegon? How does Muskegon interact with Exchange and 79th Street? So with this, look at what this concept does. It says Burnham is going to deal with reading for 12th grade. See that Y matches the Y for reading. So we saying Burnham go focus on those spelling bee words. All right. Then Muskegon on the next block, they go focus on that history. See the G there matching the G up on each month. So they gonna focus on the history. Then that BW, and you match that with the BW on the different months, that's the math. And then the BS, match that with the BS on the months above, that's science. So now there's a reason for the people on 79 Burnham, Muskegon, Escanaba, and Exchange to know each other, to talk to each other. And then you got these 12th graders coming over from North Londale, coming over from Detroit. So now when they arrive, y'all got something vibrant going on. It's activity. It's someone barbecuing during the Summer Olympics so that they can all eat when they done competing in math, science, reading. So that's the highlight I want to point out to you guys. This is designed so that every block by block, we have something that we can create vibrancy, exchanging ideas, getting people to interact with each other. And criminals don't like that. Criminals want you to stay isolated, minding your own business so they can exploit that isolation. So when we get neighbors on Burnham to know neighbors on Exchange, if I see you doing something, now I got your number, I can call and warn you. What do y'all think about that?
That's great. I was a part of an organization that we were supposed to help the elders in Austin, to where if you saw something going on your block, since the connection seems like they go back and tell, they were supposed to contact the organization. The organization would call us on the south side, and then we would make the call in the description. So they can't trace the call because it didn't come from Austin. It's not all scanned. So why would these Southsiders call and report something on Austin? That was to put ease in the hearts of the seniors over there. But you
Big,
know, I never got the call because you know me. You know I'm a
big,
talker. I tell you.
big time. Yes, indeed. And that's where your sister city come in too. So if you ask to call somebody in San Diego, like you just said, you know why. You already know why, because that's little San Diego. So that's the setup. So I just want y'all to be able to know that's on the website 24/7. You can go there at any time and pull down this so that you can, see firsthand what we're doing. All right, so now we got to move on to food. And I want to read something to you guys on the food side because it's really sad, and we got to become aware of it so we can eventually do something about it. But it starts with first knowing what's happening with the food poisoning or the people that control all the food, in our community. All right. Okay, so this here, consider this education on the food, you guys. I'm gonna put this slide up so you guys can see this too, because you got some of these brands in your house, and these are the brands that is part of the problem when we talk about inflation, high prices. They control the food supply. and they don't look like us. Let's zoom in so you guys can recognize some of these brands. Recognize any of these?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So the challenge for us is, what alternatives do we have? Because one thing to point out some, but what's the plan? And I think the main thing for us is to start. I love what the Hispanics in Chicago have done. They won't even buy the detergent from these companies here. They make their own 5-gallon buckets of detergent. Yeah, have y'all seen that?
Yeah, I know. I buy it. Tell me where a brother sells some at.
So that's my point. They're not giving these companies that portion of their money, and we have to do that. That's them keeping their washing detergent money in their neck of the woods.
I knew this guy. I met this guy that was selling body stuff and soap and stuff like that on 75th and Stony Island, but he's only out there after the business closed because he's using the people parking lot. You know what I mean? So once he said he don't want nobody saying nothing about him using their parking lot, but he have a whole spread. I just can't get nobody taking me back out there because hey, I pay the brother because he a brother. You know.
So I'm gonna link you, and so everyone know, Brother Anton, a sax preacher. They have True. It's called True Star. It is black-owned detergent out of Atlanta, Georgia, and so I'm gonna link you to him so you can have that. I think we gotta. They'll deliver it, I believe. So we'll work that out. But it do exist. But the benefit of the way the Mexicans are doing it in Chicago is they on a lot of different corners, so they bring it right, make it real for you to drive up on them and
Yeah,
do that.
they actually they got it right there in the Boost Mobile store on 69th and Ashland. They sell the
Yeah.
buckets of detergent and stuff in there.
Yep. So yeah, and again, when we release our dollar, how does it come back and help us? That's the mindset that ideally we'll have when we release our dollar. How is it helping us? So we'll get there though. We ain't giving up. All right. So let's look at these companies. Let's break this down. So, I would say that the biggest thing for us when you're looking at all these companies here is some of these companies do not put the same ingredients in the American food, the U.S. food that they do in Europe. And they have a video of a guy in Europe saying when he went back to Germany for a month or 2 months, that he felt lighter, he didn't have headaches, and it was the same brands that he had here in America. But by being over there, he looked at the ingredients and saw they didn't have the red fructose soy, things of that nature, high fructose soy, and all this here. And what that says is, why are you putting so many preservatives of things in the food in America and not in Europe? And this coming from a European man. So that's where we got to look at these companies and really see what is the real agenda, because we know that the healthcare in Europe is pretty much free, but healthcare here is a killer. And if you're putting more things in the food here, that could add to the killer food that makes it where we're going to be your guaranteed customer. That's what I'm putting 2 and 2 together. What do you guys think?
You're right. I'm a witness of that because back in the day, you wouldn't eat a whole bag of potato chips, that big bag. Look, it's a chemical in there that does something to the craving mechanism in our body to make us crave that. That's why we got to drink all them Pepsi Colas and them RCs, and we got to drink that pop. That's why we got to have that Pop Tart, that Hostess cupcake. It's something in all of that that draws us to where when we get a craving, we don't, like my mother and them, they ate fruit to where we don't go for the fruit because the price of fruit is high, but fruit sugar is different than the refined sugar. It's still the same sweet, but we done programmed our body to be accustomed to, like I'm supposed to eat food that doesn't have a taste to it. If I do that, that'll unclog my arteries. Okay, I tried it. Guess what? I didn't feel full, but I couldn't taste nothing. Yeah, it was good for my body, but I couldn't taste anything. I had no flavor. So that would make me overeat because I don't taste nothing. I have to be programmed just to eat what's on that plate because that's all my body needs. But my tongue didn't get to taste a thing.
Yeah. Now you said the key word programming. The consistency of you doing something, now you used to it. So it's like getting hooked on the very thing that's gonna hurt you. So yeah. So I want to point out the U there. You see the U there, the Unilever? Can y'all see that?
Yeah, I see it.
Look in your house and see how many products you have with that U on there. I'm gonna give you guys what I know about this company here. This company here is commingled. You know, they buy each other's shares of stock, so they really all together. But they were the ones that had something to do with building the ships that carried our ancestors over here. And we didn't get reparations. And not only that, but we are giving money to the very company who owed reparations for creating the vehicle to take other human beings and bring them to this foreign land. So I just want to, every one of these companies, we need to be looking at their track record in history. For instance, Levi Jeans stood against slavery. That we need to know that so we can support Levi's more than Wranglers or any other brands. This is where our business community come in, that where we need to have that research done on every single company, so we're not giving black dollars to companies that is unapologetic, like never said sorry for what they did back in the day. What do y'all think about that?
That sounds like a winner. You know me. I'm ready now to stop spending my dollars with some people.
Excellent, excellent. All right, I see we got Brother Eddie Johnson the third on here now. So we go pause on this conversation and we go bring Eddie up so we can hear from this brother, and then we'll close out at, what time is it? 4:40. So yeah, we'll close out with the voter registration and then that's it. Brother Eddie, you wanna come off of mute, man? Let us see your superstar face.
I'm driving, if that's okay.
Be safe. That's number one, right?
Yep, I'm pulling over. I was just listening. I was late, so I wanted to be a listener. What's the topic of discussion?
Well, let me introduce you real quick. So Eddie Johnson, you guys, is someone that is known in Chi-Town, the third largest city in America. He is an educator. So that means he knows how to influence our children's mind. And we got Governor Charles on here, who's an educator on the South Side too. So I wanted to make sure from my education section, you gave us a view. What are you seeing education-wise? Are our children look like they're aspiring? Are the migrants impacting their education? Just bring us up to speed from an academic standpoint, brother.
So just Monday would be the first day of school in the city of Chicago, for Chicago Public Schools. If you hear a lot of the talk in regards to contract negotiations in the city of Chicago, don't be misled when it comes from an education standpoint. Children of Black and brown, and when I say Black and brown, I'm not including Hispanics, migrants, or Latinx students. I want to specifically be stronger when I say African American children. African American children in the city of Chicago and a lot of large cities are being used to get additional funding. And what do I mean by that? There is a population in the last 20 years has become the fastest growing population. And when I speak on that, I'm talking about the special education students. In a lot of systems, especially in educational systems, you heard it before, they've been misdiagnosed or they've not been diagnosed at all. And so I want us to pay close attention. In the city of Chicago, it takes $33,000 to educate one student. And for a special ed student, it's somewhere 33,000 and a fourth of that. So let's just say, let's round it off, 50,000 per student when a student is special ed for a school year. We're talking about $50,000 per student when they classified or diagnosed as a special ed. Well, if
So
that's
it
the case,
encourages them to be classified as special ed. That's what you're saying.
correct. Now, special ed is a variety. You heard over the last 20, 30 years, they talk about autism. They go from the low spectrum to the high spectrum. So just because a person is labeled as special ed, he receive a 504 plan, which is an IEP. That's just basically saying, hey, if I can't tie my shoes entering in kindergarten, I might need an OT. If I can't look at my kindergarten teacher in the face and say good morning, or I stutter, or I have a delayed speech, I might need a speech therapist. And so let's not be so lost when we say special ed. It don't mean that a person is cognitively delayed, cognitively don't have the capacity to learn. It is basically just saying this person needs some educational support. And I want us to talk about this and understand this more as we enter the new school year. More students are being labeled or placed in the special ed population, and that's an issue.
Now, let's merge in the migrants, because they closed 50 schools. A lot of our audience around the country go watch this. So they closed the 50 schools. Now they open them up. How do you see the dynamics of that special need diagnosis for Black people with the opening of the schools for the migrants? Can you give us thoughts on that?
So we 10 years away from Ron Emanuel closing those 50 schools. That took place in 2011. And let's be honest and let's be frank. It was a population decline. Okay, those schools are not utilized at all. And so that's not the issue of using these underutilized schools. These buildings are still vacant. The current schools are still underutilized, or students. It's an issue with population of students. The migrants, they're using the migrants. What they're using the migrants for, it has nothing.
You breaking up there, Eddie.
With the underutilization of schools. So I was saying the underutilization of schools is a completely different when we talk about the migrants. The migrants are not only using vacant schools, they're using vacant housing units, they're using they're going into vacant neighborhoods, using vacant homes. That's a void. They fill in a void that we have. So that's just a different conversation in regards to the migrants. They found money to provide services to the migrants.
Now we got 2 minutes, Eddie. I want to make sure you touch on what you wanted. You gave me what I was looking for. What else you want to give us from an education standpoint? What should we be doing?
We do not need social economic resources for students, okay? The Chicago Public School.
Can y'all hear Eddie? Because he froze on my end.
Yeah,
they don't want that to be told. They don't want that to be told.
Governor Denise, you say they shut him down?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Eddie, Denise said they shut you down, man. Can you hear us?
Yeah, I had to take it off Wi-Fi. What I want to say is that City of Chicago Public Schools should not be using African American students asking for resources for housing, social service needs, food. Okay? So
okay.
We, let's be clear on that. It's different revenue, it's different monies that could be allocated. They should only focus on educating our students.
Yep, I can see that.
Okay.
Because you get all that money, they could be doing other things to it. Let that department handle that. Why you getting it? You know?
Correct.
I'm with you.
Yep.
How do people reach you, man? If they got additional questions, you got a way they can reach out to you?
Yes, 773-575-8173. That's my direct cell. I'm always available. You can text or call.
One more time. What's that number?
773-575-8173. Now, keep in mind, I'm an educator. I'm a CTU member. So I'm being an advocate for our students, an advocate for our children. You might don't hear that conversation saying a lot of educators, a lot of teachers will tell you, hey, I'm a social service person in the morning. I feed my students. I take the place of a mother. We do not need a teacher or educator to do that.
Right.
Okay.
Now, when you blur the lines, it gives leeway for other things to be. When you conflate that, you can start doing other stuff. So I'm with you on that. Katrina, you was about to ask Eddie something?
Nah, I was just listening to him when he was talking about the special education, because actually, my nephew, we didn't even find out about he needed an IEP until he turned 16. So if you guys type in Javion Greer on Google, that's my family story with my nephew. Like, a lot of people held back. It didn't mean like he was completely slow, like he could tie his shoes, but because he had epilepsy seizures, it slowed him down. And like he forget certain numbers and stuff, whatever, but it didn't stop him from still getting up, and he wanted to clean up. Like, he the cleanest person we got in the family. It's just like when you get in the school system part, we sat in CYDI. First time I sat up here in Mass Johnson, then I took him to CYDI, and they telling him just get on the computer. Nobody like explains to him. I'm trying to fill the paperwork out. You got people playing on the phones, and he couldn't remember how to get into certain stuff. So like, he was labeled as learning disability for that part. And also about him being a diverse learner, he was able to read backwards. I got a nephew sitting in my household right now with me, went to Harvard University, who was labeled as that as well. But yeah, it's hard on a lot of people. They don't catch it when these babies are young.
Well,
And then a lot of our older people, they want to tell nobody about it.
You used the right word, label. They label, and these people,
yeah,
they got money set aside for when they label you. Now they can access the money that they cooked up on the backside. So that's what Brother Eddie talking about in so many words.
Yeah.
All right, so we got just 7 minutes. I got to get this out. Let me put this real quick. VWR, Google VWR melanin, VWR. They're selling melanin, and it was at $395 a gram, and that's more than gold. Melanin comes from the skin.
Right.
How are they getting the melanin? That should be an investigation. VWR selling melanin on the internet. So Google that yourself and do your own research on that. This could be one of the reasons why we have the organ harvesting and other things like that happening. We need to get a statement from them on where's this coming from. This is where our teammate lawyers come in. That if that should be black lawyers saying, wait a minute, what's the deal here? So I wanted to put that out there so we can do research on VWR and start engaging them. Any thoughts on that?
Very interesting to me.
All right.
Maybe we'll find out what some of our missing people are.
Yeah, something got to be said about it. We got to get more voices on the subject. We need official statements from different groups, so that way you can't say I didn't know this was happening. When you issue an official statement, that's you going on the record. Either I know or I don't know. So we need to get people on the record here. Our legal group, which is Team 8 Legal, this month, August, it was about elected officials. So this was our mock trial for next Tuesday is Lawyers Day. A state representative accepted a $5,000 bribe to not vote on a contract, a construction contract. So it defaulted at the requesters request for the company. The bottom line is we want our children that want to be lawyers, one go be the plaintiff, one to defend it. So one go defend the company, and then one go try the company and say that they, they knew what they were doing. So that's the mock trial for next Tuesday. And unfortunately, in Washington, D.C., we just had a young black male out of the same Ward 8 where Marion Barry was with the scandal a long time ago. FBI just arrested him for bribery for anti-violence money in DC. I like this young brother. I like what I seen him moving, how he was moving. So I was really disturbed if this is true that he took bribes. But this mock trial, we had this scheduled like 8 months ago. And so for that to happen right on the time when we getting ready to do a mock trial next Tuesday on Lawyers Day is just crazy. Any thoughts on that?
That's opening our eyes to start investigating a lot more things and on our own, not just waiting for somebody else to do it. When we hear about it, look it up and then go on social media and share it to make some other people think.
Big time. And finally, the conventions are designed, you guys, the weekly conventions are designed to deal with Black boredom around the United States. So all the conventions come, you travel to Gary, Indiana. It's 48 out of the 52 Saturdays a year. 48 out of 52. So it's only 4 Saturdays with no convention. So what that means to all of us is let's build this convention concept so that there's always something going on and there's always people traveling in from out of town to participate. So next week is the firefighters convention. Next Saturday is the firefighters convention. So everyone that know a retired firefighter, an active firefighter, kids that want to be firefighters, that's that. The barber and beautician convention is the following Saturday, September. I should have said that because next Saturday is the 31st. So it's the September 7th one. Then September 14th is the barbers and beauticians. Then it's the poetry convention, which is the 21st. And then the final one is the 28th. It's the art convention. So those the September conventions, you guys. It's up to us to build this up and get, the vibrancy going where we're literally helping our people raise money so they can travel all over the country to Gary, Indiana. A lot of them would travel to Midway and O'Hare. So that's where the Chicago team will be the welcoming committee to welcome them in when they get there and then get them across the border to Gary, and our host committee here can bring them on in. Imagine what Black society looks like when that's happening every single weekend. And you got radio ads being on the radio, TV commercials. Think about what that means for Black America, for us to be doing something like that. Any thoughts on that?
That shows with determination, we can show people that we can get together and have conventions to promote and educate our own from all across the United States in every sector of life.
That's it. That's exactly what the purpose is. And we already have Africa. I want y'all to look at this as we close out. Africa does the signs literally every day for us. So Nigeria, these are our children. You see the date they got on that? Saturday, August 24th. Technology people in the U.S. convention over here. The scientists and the U.S. sales and marketing convention. Today, the marketers and the U.S. sales and marketing convention. So this is all the way 6,000 miles away. They know about every single weekend conventions. And so this is what I'm talking about. Let's make this where we deal with the Black boredom, because we're always traveling and moving around, and we build our financial structures around that. So we're helping put money into the travel of our young people and our retirees to mentor to them at the convention. So that's it, you guys. I thank y'all. Anyone got any closing remarks?
I want to say hip hip hooray to everyone. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for if you had a couple of down spurts and whatever and anything you're trying to do, remember, we got to get some rain so we can grow. So that's just a little rain. So congratulations to everybody, great success, and we doing it.
You know, I thank you for your energy. You always come with the fire energy. And you say you 70 years old with that energy. I love it. Give me some hope as I catch up to you with that age bracket. Excellent. All right. So we're going to close out here. Next month is last names L, M, N, and O. So we won't bug you guys again until February 22nd next year. That's the next F through K summit, February 22nd next year. So y'all good for that long. But next month is going to be all of our last names, L, M, N, and O, to keep all of these updates happening. And we do work inside those updates so we can come back and present what that update is. All right. So thank you guys. Take care.